Good morning and welcome to the regular meeting of City Council for Tuesday, March 1st, 2022. I have a meeting announcement. Council members are encouraging virtual public participation as there is limited number of seating in council chambers due to the COVID infections in our area. All meetings will be live streamed on the city website and on the City Channel Pittsburgh YouTube channel. Will the clerk please take the roll call?
Reverend Burgess, Mr. Coghill.
Here.
Ms. Gross.
Here.
Mr. Kraus, Mr. Lavelle, Mr. O'Connor,
Here.
Osberger,
Here.
Mr. Wilson, Mrs. Cal Smith, President,
Here.
5 members present.
Thank you. As we join from our remote locations, please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing for a moment of silence. And I would ask during your moment of silence that you keep the people in Ukraine in your thoughts and prayers. Thank you. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, please be seated. And our next order of business is to amend the agenda. Is there a motion to amend the agenda and add a bill sponsored by Councilman Corey O'Connor?
Second.
Second, any discussion? All in favor? Agenda is amended. And our next order of business is proclamations, and we have one by Councilwoman Gross and two from myself. Madam Councilwoman Gross, I hope you don't mind, but I'm going to take Michelle Gainey first because the mayor's in the audience. And so welcome, Mayor. Welcome. First Lady Gainey, would you please come forward? Mayor, you can come with him. Pardon me? Up here, they can come up here, yeah. You can come up here. Do you have anyone else? We don't need anyone else, you got the mayor. So I just want to say, last week I recognized Mayor Gainey and his mom and for Black History Month, and we're so proud of everything that you're doing. But I can't help but notice the person in the background who's doing a lot of work for the city of Pittsburgh and driving a strong agenda. And I just want to say, this is the first time since I've been in office that we've had a First Lady of Pittsburgh. So I want to thank you for jumping in really strong with your own initiatives immediately and things that would be so positive for the city. So thank you for that. So I wanted to recognize you for that. I can barely see my glasses. Whereas in honor of Black History Month, we would like to recognize that's the next one, sorry. Told you can't see. That's not one. Whereas First Lady Michelle Gainey is working to support Pittsburgh local art scene in her first community initiative, Pittsburgh Paints, allowing her also to promote one of her husband's goals of making Pittsburgh a city for all. And whereas Pittsburgh Paints is a rotating art exhibition that uses art to celebrate the diversity within the city of Pittsburgh. Art pieces will be exhibited in the mayor's executive conference room, in the mayor's office, and in the chief of staff's office. And whereas each month will feature a unique theme, which Michelle hopes will create opportunities to use art to bring awareness to the different cultures, people, and life experiences, enabling Pittsburghers to see Pittsburgh through different lenses. And whereas the first exhibition is in honor of Black History Month and features the work of Brandon Jennings, Ashante Josie, and if I say any names wrong, please correct me when you come up, Marlene Gist, Douglas Webster, Irene Sparks, Kelly Jean Dawson Young, Baba Amir Rashid, Jamie Acey. Okay, because I know a Jameer Acey. Okay, Ernest Bay, Hurley Charles Nance, and Teresa Rose Monroe. And whereas the annual Pittsburgh Paints calendar includes Women's History Month, Pittsburgh K-12 student art, Asian Pacific American Heritage Month, and Jewish American Heritage Month, LGBTQ Pride Month, Photography, Black Business Month, and American Artist Appreciation Month, National Latinx, I say that wrong, and Hispanic Heritage Month, and Breast Cancer Awareness Month holiday theme, and inspired by the city of Pittsburgh. And whereas, in addition to encouraging her husband, Mrs. Gainey assists single moms with education and career planning as a consultant with Catalyst Pittsburgh, a local nonprofit. And now therefore be it resolved that the Council of the City of Pittsburgh does hereby recognize and commend First Lady Michelle Gainey for helping to promote inclusiveness by celebrating local Pittsburgh artists. And be it further resolved that the Council of the City of Pittsburgh does hereby declare the month of February 2022 to be First Lady Michelle Gainey Month in the City of Pittsburgh. Can I have a motion in a second, please?
So moved.
I would tell you, I started a cultural district too, so we'll have to get them together. It's our committee. Yeah.
Good morning. I just want to say thank you, President Teresa Kell Smith and the rest of council for celebrating our Pittsburgh Paints Initiative. We appreciate it. I just ask that if you are an artist yourself, if you know an artist, please submit your work to bit.ly/Pittsburgh Paints, or you can email it to me at firstlady@pittsburghpa.gov. Thank you. We appreciate your support.
Just want to thank council for the recognition of my wife today. She worked hard on this initiative. And I just want to say thank you. I appreciate it. I think to build a better city, there's no other way to do it but by arts and culture. So I just want to say thank you and I appreciate you. God bless.
All of us?
Yes.
Oh, I don't have a mask.
You might have to move this. I need better glasses. I bought these because these ones are so bad, and those are worse than these. Okay,
What? I'm seeing it. This was,
Mayor Gainey, we need you to stay here. And Reverend Burgess, could you please come forward? In honor of Black History Month, we'd like to recognize the Pittsburgh Black Elected Officials Coalition. Is there anyone else here for them today? No? Okay, anybody online? Okay,
where's Daniel?
okay, please. Whereas in honor of Black History Month, we would like to recognize the Pittsburgh Black Elected Officials Coalition. And whereas the Pittsburgh Black Elected Officials Coalition was founded in 2016 and currently includes the City of Pittsburgh Mayor Ed Gainey, County Councilman Liv Bennett, City Councilman Reverend Ricky Burgess, and also our Council President Pro Tem, City Councilman Daniel Lavelle, our Finance Chair, and County Councilman DeWitt Walton, and State Representative Summer Lee. And it did include Jake Wheatley, so I wanted him to be here too, but I'll have to make sure she updates that. Whereas the Pittsburgh Black Elected Officials Coalition utilizes their collective power and authority to transform Pittsburgh's African-American communities into empowered, revitalized, healthy, and sustainable neighborhoods. And whereas the group focused on 6 areas: public safety, affordable housing, family outcomes, business and organizations, education, and employment. The result was the Pittsburgh Peace and Justice Initiative report, which combines demographic research, residents' visions for their communities, the challenges communities face, and the tools to measure their progress. And whereas as they press forward with their initiatives, the Pittsburgh Black Elected Officials Coalitions envisions healthy, thriving, sustainable African-American communities where residents live, work, play, and worship safely and successfully. And now therefore be it resolved that the Council of the City of Pittsburgh does hereby recognize and commend the Pittsburgh Black Elected Officials Coalition for their commitment to the African-American communities of the city of Pittsburgh. And be it further resolved that the Council of the City of Pittsburgh does hereby declare the month of February 2022 to be the Pittsburgh Black Elected Officials Coalition Month in the city of Pittsburgh.
Motion to approve.
Motion second. All in favor? Proclamations approved. Do you want to come up and say a few words, please? Start up here, please. Stay up here, if you don't mind. I got better glasses to read.
So we are on behalf of, up until this month, when Mayor Ed Gainey wisely made Jake Weekly his chief of staff, he was our convener. He was really the instrument of us coming together. The Peace and Justice Report is the platform of all the work, at least that I have been doing on the city. Everything we've done has come from that report. But more than the report, I was grateful for the fellowship, the time to meet weekly, to eat chicken, to tell our stories, to talk about our children. That was a special time for me, and I'm grateful for all the work we've done in the past. I look forward now that Ed is no longer state rep, but the mayor of our great city. I think that we're in position to achieve even greater things in the future. Thanks, Teresa and council, for this acknowledgement and this certificate, this proclamation. We are humbled, surprised, and grateful.
I just want to thank Council President, thank Council. We know we got a lot of work to do. It is about building a city for all. And, when you think about it from that perspective, we all got to come together. One thing I say about our bridges, they connect us, and we're going to work hard to continue to build a city where everybody feels included. And that's not going to happen tomorrow because there's no microwave meals in development. But at the end of the day, if we all just put our best forward, we can get somewhere. And I believe that. I look at the journey we've been on and how far we've come, how far we got to go. But one thing remains the main ingredient in everything that we do, and that's us coming together. So thank you, and I appreciate it.
Thank you. Do the members want to come up and take a photo? I just want to say, prior to Tanya Payne's passing away, I never told anybody, but I had her and Jake Wheatley out to dinner together, and they made up and hugged, and I have the photo to prove it. But I just want to say, when people come together to do what's right for the residents, that's when we all win. It doesn't matter what our friendships are, what we're doing, whether we like one another or not. It matters that we do put our residents first and do what's best interest of the city of Pittsburgh. And I'm just going to say, if you put these two together with Reverend's brains and Ed's heart, there's no stopping the city of Pittsburgh. I just want to say, I can't wait to see some of the things you do together. And you both have brains, you both have personality, but I know you both excel in different areas. So together you'll make a great city. Come on, everybody. Kumbaya. This photo here first. I just want to say that. I'm going to get updated proclamations for all of you with making sure we mention Jake Wheatley. Okay, Councilwoman Gross, thank you for your patience.
Thank you, Madam President. Can we have Monica Tillman and her family and everyone who wants to come up to the front, please? Does everyone with Monica want to come up? You can come on up if you like. Keep us company. We're here today to acknowledge the dedication of our teachers in our public schools, especially Monica, Monica Tillman. We're very lucky in our communities to have schools where parents, kids, the teachers are so invested in the success of the school. And today we're joined by one of our teachers from Arsenal Middle School and Elementary, both, but you've been involved, Monica, with just the middle school. And we're really lucky in all of the changes that have happened in with magnet schools and schools closing across the city. We really want to emphasize and appreciate those schools that keep their population, keep their programming, keep their vitality, invest in our students, and keep their doors open, quite honestly, right? It's really a struggle every day. So with that, we're joined here today by Monica Tillman, and I'll read her proclamation. Whereas within the city of Pittsburgh, the safety and well-being of our children and families is paramount. And whereas no matter the conditions, school social workers embody heroic contributions to our city, persevering during times of economic uncertainty, public health emergencies, and civil unrest. And whereas school social workers serve as vital members of the education team, playing a critical role in creating a positive, welcoming environment in our schools. Whereas school social workers are especially skilled in identifying and providing services to students who face serious challenges to school success, including poverty, disability, discrimination, abuse, addiction, bullying, loss of loved ones, and other barriers to learning. Whereas the city of Pittsburgh recognizes the decades-long tenure of Monica Tillman. Whereas Monica Tillman, a resident of Pittsburgh since 1980, mother of 3 Pittsburgh Public School alumni, attended the University of Pittsburgh and obtained her Master of Science in Social Work. Whereas employed by Pittsburgh Public Schools since 1994, Monica has been a social worker at Arsenal Middle School for the past 28 years, balancing the demands of motherhood, supporting congregation at the First Church of God in Christ, as well as being a social worker for at-risk youth. Ms. Tillman has supported numerous students and staff over the years. And whereas Monica has served as an original building champion to launch the Be a Sixth Grade Mentor initiative, continuing to advocate for Big Brothers and Big Sisters mentoring, serving also as the founding liaison of a long-term partnership with UPMC Children's Hospital that connected middle school students with healthcare professionals in Health Rangers. Whereas Ms. Tillman has sponsored numerous events from Stop the Stigma to Mix It Up Day to bring attention to the importance of mental health. Now, therefore, be it resolved, the Council of the City of Pittsburgh recognizes Monica Tillman for her astounding service to our youngest, most vulnerable citizens, with her legacy continuing in the lives of the thousands of children and families she has supported throughout her career. Be it further resolved, the Council of the City of Pittsburgh proclaims Tuesday, March 1st, 2022 as Monica Tillman Day.
We have a motion and a second.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Proclamation is approved. Congratulations.
This is yours. And I would love for you to not only make a few comments, but also be sure to introduce everyone that we have here. And I'll change places with you.
Good morning, everyone. Indeed, it is a pleasure to be here. I'm humbled and honored just by this recognition. Today, I'm here with my husband, Pastor Tyrone Tillman, my mother, Carolyn Fenwick, 2 of my 3 sons, Gabriel Tillman, who's a fireman in the city of Pittsburgh, and my youngest son, Micah Tillman. I'm also here with my principal, Ms. Patty Camper, 2 of my special friends, Ross and Chris. But today I stand here on the shoulders. Oh, and my nephew in the back. I'm sorry, Anton. I'm here standing on the shoulders of all of my family members and friends, all of the social workers and the counselors and the nurses, administrators, and community partners who help make education what it is today. Serving at Arsenal Middle School was one of the most rewarding opportunities that I have been blessed to participate in. Honestly, I had 34 years of service. I started in Wilkinsburg, 6 years. And when I came to Arsenal, I initially said I wanted to go back to high school, but I felt compelled and led to remain there 28 years because I realized that the students and the families that we serve are the salt of this earth. And I wanted to invest. Every day I wake up, I wasn't always motivated to go, but I was disciplined and compelled because I realized that some child, some family was waiting there. And I knew that I wanted to do what I could do to help. Every day wasn't sunny, but it was a day that I wanted to be there. I loved educating and serving America's children. I loved educating and serving with my colleagues who worked through the pandemic, visiting houses. We had teachers who would go to the houses of the children to make sure that they had their needs met. I love my school. As you see, I'm dressed in our colors. I still wear my badge. As I take my leave, I realized that there were days we had to pray for a tough hide, but tender hearts, because we held the students and their families and their future and their worth in our hands. And so today, I'm just humbled and I'm very appreciative of this recognition. Thank you all.
Morning. First, thank you, Councilwoman Gross, for this recognition. March is also Social Worker Appreciation Month, and Mrs. Tillman is the absolute model of what a social worker should be. She has served our students at Arsenal with dignity, respect, and compassion over the years, and truthfully has taught our staff and families what it takes to be successful. So we are a better school, we are better people, because we got to serve side by side with Mrs. Tillman. So thank you for this recognition. It is very well deserved.
That's an amazing.
Congratulations, family. Good to see you. How you doing? Preacher, how you doing? Good to see you.
Yeah, I've made it this far.
And our next order of business is public comment. I would like to remind everyone that the rules of council state that comments are limited to matters of concern, official action, or deliberation which are or may be before city council. Profanity will not be permitted and threats will not be permitted. Well, maybe have the first speaker, please. And I have Dr. Ronald Lynn Miller as the first registered speaker. I know everyone.
Dr. Ronald and Miller, Bell Suver, East Ohio, West End, Carrick, Squirrel Hill, Lawrenceville, Oakland, and Homewood residentially, all without Mr. Gainey's 22-22022 imperative to citizens here, visit the districts. Who is he? The Fuhrer of Pittsburgh, issuing us orders? Global Intelligence Society U.S. National Candidate, I am 2024. One of my websites is globalintelligencesociety.org. The Global Intelligence Society is an organization for the exploration of practical policy applications of the evolution of global intelligence out of general intelligence. The concern of this council is Asia, U.S. Asian Americans, and Asian Pittsburghers. I and the Global Intelligence Society are seeking a link with Singapore. March 2022 is Asian Intelligence Month. Copyright RLM 2012 and 2022. The focus today is East Asia. March is Asian Intelligence Month. No grow info intel on East Asia, especially Korea, China, Japan, KCJ. KCJ children develop their intelligence out of code linguistic information in meaning square bits, similar to variables in mathematical equations, offered in lexical vertical columns and horizontal rows, similar to an XY coordinate math grid via KJC conjugate, non-CJK romanized transliterative, and supra-JKC translative scripts, reinforcing abilities to think symbolically in abstractions and in 3 dimensions. Do you think, counselors and citizens, that Mr. Gainey can, quoting Mr. Gainey, 22 February 2022, know to grow like this? Do you think Mr. Gainey can think up and down, forward and backward, in and out of his own language, using 3 layers of symbolic structure like the children in elementary schools in Korea, Japan, and China do? Can grow, deduce intelligence interpretations out of the information multidimensionally, can know, can induce information out of multiple vectors of information. There's no evidence of gaining high info density, no intelligence complexity. This is evidence of a fortune cookie mind. To know is to grow. Here are a few other couplets. Monkey say, monkey do.
Thank you, Dr.
Democratic Party say, Democratic Party do.
Thank you, Dr. Miller. And our next registered speaker is Carmen Brown. Our next registered speaker is Carmen Brown. She's joining us via Zoom. She's on, I see her.
Okay. Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes, Carmen, please continue.
Okay. You can hear me. Okay. I wanted to make sure. Yes, I'm Carmen Brown from 9th Council District. First of all, I want to say congrats to First Lady Michelle Gainey and also Monica Tillman. My issue is today is that, first of all, I just wanted to let you all know that before I start ramping on, I wanted to let you all know that my case is remanded. The case between Burgess and myself, for Burgess working 2 governmental jobs, it's been remanded back to trial to the lower courts. And so it means that, we'll have a new trial, hopefully. But my gripe is that the law department is supporting Burgess. That means that they're representing him. So my question is that why is the law department representing Burgess on tax dollars? And when they represent Burgess, you got to understand is that they're not saying that we'll put it this way, they're not defending their own policies. And so what it is that when they go into court, they say that the provisions that are set forth in the charter and the city of Pittsburgh policies are unconstitutional. So I would say that's a conflict of interest. So why is it that the law department is still, again, representing Burgess? That's illegal. They should not be representing this man. He should be having his own private attorney to represent him. So our tax dollars are going to resources that that should be used for other things. So I just want to understand, and this is just putting on the record. I know council, y'all probably ain't going to do nothing about it, which y'all should be investigating it, but I know it's not going to happen. But I just want to make sure I put this on record that Burgess should not be represented by the law department. The attorney's name is Bob Miller. He should not be representing Burgess. So it's illegal. It's wrong. Our taxpayers' dollars are being used illegally. And so I wonder why this continued to go on. This went on through Peduto's administration. Now seems like it's going to be continuing through the Gainey administration. So again, this is wrong. I think you all need to investigate. There are other agencies that are going to be looking at this. But again, Burgess should not be represented by the law department. It's illegal. So I just want to make sure that the public knows this. Our dollars are being stolen by Burgess again. That means that our dollars are going straight.
We have no further registered speakers. And we have people in the audience that would you like to address City Council? Starting with, okay. Thank you, Ms. Brown. Starting with Les Ludwig.
Thank you, Madam President.
Good morning.
My name is Les Ludwig from Squirrel Hill. And I've come in today with a difficult position. And it goes like this. Back in '03, I made recommendations, and this council voted knowing that I expected, because it's in the minutes, that I expected compensation for concept thinking that would raise many levels of city operations. Due to my wife's death, a year, and the COVID situation, I never made a demand. So this past Wednesday, I came in and said, I demand payment. Today, I come with a different matter. I have a meeting coming on the 10th with Ed Gainey, our mayor. And I don't want there to be a misunderstanding. There's a separation of the old from the new. And I am deferring my request for payment until a proper evaluation can be made because of the many different facets of my thinking. So that has to be put on the side and not confused with the current situation. So let's defer that consideration to a later date and get busy bringing in the money for Ed to go into those terrible situations in ghettos in our beautiful city, so that we can go ahead and remove the causes, hopefully, for the violence that we've seen. We have to take action. I believe I can bring that money to Ed's hand and it not be tied to budgets. It has to be free to be applied where needed. And you're going to say, oh, come on, Les. Well, you got the proof. There's $1 million in the bank and more that's still coming in. And it's my concept thinking, and I'm bringing a concept that I believe will put the city way over anything it ever dreamt of. And of course, I expect some appreciation. I thank you
Thank
for
you,
your
Mr. Ludwig.
attention.
Thank you, Mr. Ludwig. And our next speaker is Ms. Brown.
My name is, excuse me, my name is Yvonne F. Brown. I live in the Hill District, Katy, where Irvis. I want to thank the clerk for for giving us the proclamations written. It does help so I can understand what's going on. Now, we have here where you gave a proclamation to the Black elected officials coalition. Okay, so then I see Ricky Burgess, Daniel Lavelle, which both of them, I want you to understand something about me. There's a way, if you want to bring people in, you try to get as many people to speak. You're going to go in the area where you know they'll come. They made the appointment for Black people up in the Hill in the church. Well, you know, Manzino on KDKA radio said about them criminals up there. So a lot of white people will not come in the Hill District when you can have the meeting here at the building where people will come. The same way when Mr. Kraus had it, where he had all them people downstairs, wouldn't let us come up here. The people downstairs, the handicapped people didn't have a way to go to the bathroom. See, when you do these things, like you're making it so that you couldn't take the people here. People think you can't. Ms. Smith keeps saying we're telling you to do it virtually. There's 92 seats in here, and 3 of us, Mr. Kraus, Mr. Les, and Dr. Miller and me, 3. And he can't hear too well. And he was telling the newspaper reporter, not too many people coming. You see, it's just the 3. But if you got your president telling you don't come, they ain't gonna come. And understand, if there's 92 seats, some should be down here except besides me. They don't want to hear me. And I've gotten attacked even by elected official Dwight Watson. Joe DeFazio was, well, he's dead now. And he was an evil little man until I talked to him. And then before he left, he told me, keep going, keep coming, keep coming. This man, his wife had said, will you vote for him? I said, no, you need to tell your husband. She said, oh, no, not my Joe. He took me into the room, and I'm bending over talking to him and his wife, and Dwight came inside. I told on him. He said, I don't appreciate you telling on me to the president. See, because I had told them we needed a bus up there, and he tried to tell me this elected official's sister that lived in the building have a meeting with her. I said, I don't got nothing to do with it. We still don't have a bus because of Joe, Dwight Watson. When he screamed and hollered at me about you're telling on me, because he had said he was going to call the bus company, and he was trying to explain. And Joe DeFazio and his wife, both of them we were all scared because we were bent over, and this big man hollering, and they said, oh, no, Joe, she wasn't talking about you. And he left out of there. I told him, Mr. DeFazio, I said, they do me like this all the time. They'll holler at me, or either they'll cut me out completely. Have a nice day.
Thank you. Have a good day, Ms. Brown. And that exhausts our list of registered speakers. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to speak? Seeing none, we'll now move on to our next order of business, which is presentation of papers. And we'll begin with Councilman Reverend Ricky Burgess, Chair of Urban Recreation. Thank you, Councilman. And Councilman Coghill, Chair of Public Works.
Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Councilman.
Councilman Coghill presents Bill number 151, resolution amending Resolution number 708, entitled Resolution Authorizing the Mayor and Director of the Department of Public Works to apply for grant funding from the Pennsylvania Department of Community and Economic Development Keystone Communities Grant Program to provide funding for the purchase of play equipment in Phillips Park, to accept the grant and authorize necessary expenditures. Bill number 152, resolution providing for a reimbursement agreement with the Pennsylvania Department of Transportation for costs associated with the construction phase of the 30th Street Bridge Preservation Project, providing for the payment of costs not to exceed $2,500,000. This resolution serves to authorize only the reimbursement agreement at a cost of $2,500. Future resolutions will authorize the project's specific service agreements. Bill number 153, resolution providing for a reimbursement agreement with the Norfolk Southern Railway Company for costs associated with the preliminary engineering phase of the South Negley Avenue Bridge project, providing for the payment of costs not to exceed $25,621.
Thank you. And Councilwoman Gross, Chair of Intergovernmental Affairs. Thank you, Councilwoman. And we have Councilman Kraus, Chair of Human Resources.
New papers, Madam President.
Thank you, Councilman.
Thank you.
And Councilman Lavelle, Chair of Public Safety Services. Councilwoman Strasburger for Councilman Lavelle. I'm sorry.
Sorry.
Thank you. Thank you, Councilwoman.
Oops, I'm sorry.
Councilman Lavelle presents Bill number 154, resolution authorizing the mayor and Department of Law and/or Director of the Department of Finance on behalf of the city in full and final settlement related to the litigation of the city of Pittsburgh versus Purdue Pharma stemming from in reference to national prescription opiate litigation in the U.S. District Court for the Northern District of Ohio, initially as to the defendant, McKesson Corporation, Cardinal Health, Inc., and Amerisource Bergman Corporation, Johnson & Johnson, Janssen Pharmaceuticals, Ortho McNeil Pharmaceuticals, and Janssen Pharmaceutica, and any further settling defendants to accept a yearly allocation of funds in a special revenue account to be subsequently created to accept the funds of this settlement as determined by Pennsylvania's intra-state opioid trust and allocation order.
Thank you. And Councilman Corey O'Connor, Chair of Public Safety Services.
Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Councilman. Thank you, Councilman. Thank you.
Councilman O'Connor presents Bill number 155, resolution amending resolution number 822, authorizing the mayor and Director of Public Safety to enter on behalf of the city into an amended professional services agreement with Quick Med Claims LLC for the provision of EMS billing services to the city of Pittsburgh. Bill number 160, resolution adopting the Alcoa Act 537 special study.
Thank you. And Councilwoman Strasburger, Chair of Innovation, Performance, and Asset Management.
No new papers, Madam President.
Thank you, Councilman. And Councilman Wilson, Chair of Land Use and Economic Development, Councilwoman Strasburger for Councilman Wilson. And Councilwoman Wilson will be joining us later.
No new papers, Madam President.
Thank you, Councilwoman.
Madam
And
President.
myself. Councilman Wilson, are you on?
Yeah, I just joined.
Thank
I
you.
wanted to, thank you. I wanted to register all I votes for the votes today on all bills.
Okay, can we do that now, Madam Clerk?
Noted.
Thank you.
Thank you,
And
Madam President.
thank you. And myself, Chair of Hearings, have one ordinance. Thank you.
Council President Kel Smith presents Bill number 157, ordinance amending and supplementing the city code at Title II Fiscal Article 1 Administration, Chapter 219, Operating Budget by adding a new subsection 21908 entitled Legal Requirements in Preparation of Operating Budget.
Thank you. And we'll now move on to any unfinished business. Can I need a motion to approve Bill 2022-0066. It's a resolution appointing Heidi Norman as Director of the Department of Innovation, Performance, and Asset Management.
So moved.
It's on now.
Do you have it?
Yep. Bill number 66, resolution appointing Heidi Norman as Director of the Department of Innovation and Performance. Bill number 67, resolution appointing Karen Abrams as Director of City Planning.
Are we doing
Sure.
both together?
We're doing two bills together.
Okay.
Do you mind
Motion to approve. Very brief discussion.
in a
please.
second? Councilman Kraus?
Yeah, thank you. I just wanted to once again mention Ms. Abrams and how excited I am to have her join the Gainey administration. We have a very long history together. And when I first heard that she would be coming in to join the administration, or that the administration would be putting her forward, I was really quite excited, and even more so today to cast a vote in the affirmative to have Karen serve as the Director of City Planning. She is going to bring a level of talent that I think we haven't seen in quite some time. Microphone, apologies. I'm terribly excited to vote in the affirmative to see her come and join the administration.
Thank you, Councilman.
Let me do
Any
that.
other members? And I'll just say, I want to thank them both for their work. Director Norman for her previous work. She served for months as an acting director. And I want to thank Councilman Burgess and Director Norman for working together to make sure that moving forward, our clerk is involved in really important cybersecurity committees. So thank you all for your work on that. With that said, Madam Clerk. Yeah.
Voice vote? Yep, voice vote. All in
Please.
favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Both are approved. Congratulations, ladies. And now we'll move on to our next order of business, which is reports of committee for final action. Councilman Lavelle, Committee on Finance and Law. And Councilman Cross, can you, for Councilman
Yes,
Lavelle?
I'd be happy to, Madam
Sorry,
President.
thank you.
Madam Clerk.
Thank you.
Councilman Lavelle presents Bill number 144, report of the Committee on Finance and Law for February 23rd, 2022, with an affirmative recommendation. Bill number 60, resolution authorizing the issuing of a warrant in favor of Judith Pearson Nolan, Stephen Nolan, and their attorneys in the amount of $150,000 in full and final settlement of litigation filed in the Court of Common Pleas of Allegheny County. Bill number 61, resolution authorizing the issuing of a warrant payable to Petrogallo, Gordon, Alfano, Bosick, and Rasponti for professional legal services in connection with civil rights litigation for an amount not to exceed $9,225. Bill number 110, resolution further amending resolution number 647 entitled Resolution Adopting and Approving the 2021 Capital Budget, the 2021 CDBG Program, the 2021 through 2026 Capital Improvement Program by increasing park reconstruction, regional asset district parks by $136,996. Bill number 111, resolution amending resolution number 713, authorizing the mayor and the director of the Department of Finance to enter on behalf of the city into an amended agreement of sale with Smith and Boeing and all documents necessary to purchase 80 Wabash Street, along with 2 vacant parcels adjacent thereto for a total amount not to exceed $374,000, which includes the purchase price of $344,000 plus up to $30,000 in acquisition costs for the purpose of continued operation of the city's West End Healthy Active Living Center.
You've heard the reading and the title of the bills. Is there any discussion on the bills? I just want to thank the previous administration and the current administration for working on purchasing the Healthy Active Living Center in the West End. It means a lot to our citizens and our senior citizens. The bills are now ready for final action. All in favor of the passage, vote aye when the name is called. Those opposed will vote no. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Reverend Burgess,
Aye.
Mr. Coghill,
Aye.
Ms. Gross,
Aye.
Mr. Kraus,
Aye.
Mr. Lavelle, Mr. O'Connor,
Aye.
Ms. Strasburger,
Aye.
Mrs. Cal Smith, President.
Aye.
Ayes 8, no 0.
Thank you. The bills having received the legally required number of votes are finally passed. And that moves us on to Councilman Corey O'Connor, Committee on Public Safety Services.
Thank you,
Councilman?
Madam President.
Thank you.
Councilman O'Connor presents Bill number 145, report of the Committee on Public Safety Services for February 23rd, 2022, with an affirmative recommendation. Bill number 112, resolution authorizing the mayor and director of the Department of Public Safety and the chief of police on behalf of the city to enter into a strategic relationship agreement and amendments thereto with Policing Equity, Inc. to allow for the sharing of data which shall be at no cost to the city.
Thank you. You've heard the reading and the title of the bills. Is there any discussion on the bills? Seeing none, bills are ready for final passage. All in favor, final action, all in favor of the passage, vote aye when the name is called. Those opposed will vote no. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Reverend Burgess.
Aye.
Mr. Coghill.
Aye.
Ms. Gross.
Aye.
Mr. Kraus.
Aye.
Mr. O'Connor.
Aye.
Strasburger.
Aye.
Mrs. Cal Smith, President.
Aye.
Ayes 8, no 0.
Thank you. The bill having received the legally required number of votes are finally passed. Is finally passed. And that moves us on to Councilman Anthony Coghill, Committee on Public Works.
Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Councilman.
Councilman Coghill presents Bill number 146, report of the Committee on Public Works for February 23rd, 2022 with an affirmative recommendation. Bill number 77, ordinance amending and supplementing the Pittsburgh Code Title I Administrative Article 3, Organization, Chapter 118, Department of Mobility and Infrastructure by adding 11803, Infrastructure Asset Reporting. Bill number 78, ordinance amending and supplementing the Pittsburgh Code Title I Administrative Article 9, Boards, Commissions, and Authorities by adding Chapter 179H, Commission on Infrastructure Asset Reporting and Investment. Bill number 121, resolution authorizing and directing the mayor to establish a joint Pittsburgh Infrastructure Task Force to oversee the equitable distribution of infrastructure funds.
Thank you. You've heard the reading of the title of the bills. Is there any discussion on the bills? Seeing none, the bills are now ready for final action. All in favor of the passage, vote aye when the name is called. Those opposed will vote no. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Reverend Burgess.
On Bill 077, I will abstain. All the other bills, I will vote aye.
Mr. Coghill.
Aye.
Ms. Gross.
Aye.
Mr. Kraus.
Aye.
Mr. O'Connor.
Aye.
Ms. Strasburger.
Aye.
Mrs. Cal Smith, President.
Aye.
On Bill 077, ayes 7, 1 abstention. All other bills, ayes 8, no 0.
And Councilman Wilson registered his aye vote, right? Okay,
Yeah.
just making sure.
Mhm.
Okay.
Right.
Thank you. The bills having received the legally required number of votes are finally passed. And we'll move on to Councilman Bruce Kraus, Committee on Human Resources.
Thank you, Madam President. Thank you, Madam Clerk.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Councilman.
Councilman Kraus presents Bill number 147, report of the Committee on Human Resources for February 23rd, 2022, with an affirmative recommendation. Bill number 108, resolution providing for an agreement with the Fair Housing Partnership to provide fair housing testing, outreach, and policy collaboration intended to assist government agencies and housing providers with their duties to affirmatively further fair housing and understand general fair housing laws. This legislation authorized the encumbrance of 3 years, 1 year with the option to renew for 2 additional years in an amount not to exceed $94,500. Bill number 133, resolution authorizing the mayor and director of the Department of Human Resources and Civil Service to enter into an agreement with Goodwill of Southwestern PA for administrative services related to the 2022 Learn and Earn Summer Youth Employment Program at a cost not to exceed $200,000. Bill number 134, resolution authorizing the mayor and the director of the Department of Human Resources and Civil Service to enter into an intergovernmental corporation agreement with the County of Allegheny and Partner for Work for the shared operation and administration of the 2022 Learn and Earn Summer Youth Employment Program in an amount not to exceed $1,500,000 for the payment of costs thereof.
Thank you. You've heard the reading and the title of the bills. Is there any discussion on the bills? I just would like to say, Councilman Kraus, I wouldn't mind having some briefing on the Learn and Earn program. I know we get phone calls and updates, but I'd really like to know how the partnership's going with the county. Because I do see a definite difference from when we did it in-house totally to now with the county. So I'd like to know a little bit more about it. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Madam President.
Madam President, may I
Councilman.
register aye on these and remaining bills? I've got to step out. for a
Yes.
call.
Thank you, Councilman.
I'd be happy to.
Madam Clerk, did you? Okay, thank you. And the bill, any further discussion? The bills are now ready for final action. All in favor of the passage, vote aye when the name is called. Those opposed will vote no. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Reverend Burgess,
Aye.
Mr. Coghill.
Aye.
Mr. Kraus.
Aye.
Mr. O'Connor.
Aye.
Ms. Strasburger.
Aye.
Mrs. Cal Smith, President.
Aye.
Ayes 8, no 0.
Thank you. The bills having received the legally required number of votes are finally passed. And Councilman Bobby Wilson, Committee on Land Use and Economic Development. Councilwoman Strasburger for Councilman Wilson. Thank you.
Councilman Wilson presents Bill number 148, report of the Committee on Land Use and Economic Development for February 23rd, 2022 with the affirmative recommendation. Bill number 113, resolution further amending resolution number 772 entitled Resolution Adopting and Approving the 2017 Capital Budget, 2017 CDBG Program, approving the 2017 through 2022 Capital Improvement Program by reducing Washington Heights Ecumenical Food Bank by $5,000, increasing Southside Slopes Neighborhood Association by $5,000, and authorizing a subsequent agreement. Bill number 114, resolution further amending resolution number 797 entitled Resolution Adopting and Approving the 2018 Capital Budget, 2018 CDBG Program, the 2018 through the 2023 Capital Improvement Program by reducing Alp Institute by $3,000, reducing Washington Heights Ecumenical Food Bank by $2,500, increasing the 31st Ward Community Action Group by $3,000, increasing EMS Community of Pittsburgh by $2,500, and authorizing a subsequent agreement. Bill number 115, resolution further amending resolution number 863 entitled Resolution Adopting and Approving the 2019 Capital Budget, the 2019 CDBG Program, and the 2019 through 2024 Capital Improvement Program by amending various public service grant line items and authorizing a subsequent agreement. Bill number 116, resolution further amending resolution number 840 entitled Resolution Adopting and Approving the 2020 Capital Budget, the 2020 CDBG Program, and the 2020 through 2025 Capital Improvement Program, so as to identify specific projects in City Council District 3 and authorize a subsequent agreement. Bill number 117, resolution further amending resolution number 647 entitled Resolution Adopting and Approving the 2021 Capital Budget, the 2021 CDBG Program, and the 2021 through 2026 Capital Improvement Program, so as to identify specific projects in Council District 3 and authorize a subsequent agreement.
Thank you. You have heard the reading and the title of the bills. Is there any discussion on the bills? Seeing none, the bills are now ready for final action. All in favor of the passage, vote aye when the name is called. Those opposed will vote no. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Reverend Burgess,
Aye.
Mr. Coghill.
Aye.
Mr. Kraus.
Aye.
Mr. O'Connor.
Aye.
Ms. Strasburger.
Aye.
Mrs. Cal Smith, President.
Aye.
Ayes 8, no 0.
Thank you. The bills having received the legally required number of votes are finally passed. And that moves us on to Councilman Reverend Ricky Burgess, Committee on Urban Recreation.
Councilman Reverend Burgess presents Bill number 149, report of the Committee on Urban Recreation for February 23rd, 2022 with an affirmative recommendation. Bill number 103, resolution authorizing the Director of the Department of Parks and Recreation to enter on behalf of the city into agreements in individual amounts of $10,000 or less with various regional youth sports organizations for a total not to exceed $160,000.
Thank you. You've heard the reading and the title of the bill. Is there any discussion on the bill? I just want to thank the previous administration, Lindsay Powell and Hirsch, for working on this, putting this process in place. But I really want to advocate again that we need to increase the money for our athletic associations that do a tremendous amount of work across our city. So I am going to work with on that. So if members would like to work with me, please let me know, because I really think that this is something that we see over and over again. Our kids, struggling to find a place that's safe to be, and these athletic associations do it with very little help from anyone. So, okay, any further discussion? The bill's now ready for final action. All in favor of the passage, vote aye when the name is called. Those opposed will vote no. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Reverend Burgess. Mr. Coghill.
Aye.
Mr. Kraus.
Aye.
Mr. O'Connor.
Aye.
Ms. Strasburger.
Aye.
Mrs. Cal Smith, President.
Aye.
Ayes 8, no 0.
Thank you. The bill having received the legally required number of votes is finally passed. And our last committee of day is Councilwoman Deborah Gross, Committee on Intergovernmental Affairs. Can we have Councilman Kraus for Councilwoman Gross?
Thank you. Madam
Thank you,
Clerk.
Councilman.
Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you.
Councilwoman Gross presents Bill number 150, report of the Committee on Intergovernmental Affairs for February 23rd, 2022, with an affirmative recommendation. Bill number 105, resolution adopting plan revision to the City of Pittsburgh's official sewer facilities plan for Garfield Highland, 5375 through 5377 Rosetta Street, 5368 through 5370 Rosetta Street, 213 through 215 North Aiken Avenue, and 405 through 431 North Aiken Avenue in the 10th Ward. Bill number 106, resolution adopting the plan revision to the City of Pittsburgh's official sewer facilities plan for the Magin Building Loft Project, which will involve the renovation of an 8-story retail and warehouse manufacturing building into a residential condominium complex with 11 units and retail space on the ground floor. The site address is 915 Liberty Avenue in the 2nd Ward. Bill number 107, resolution approving execution of a contract for disposition by sale of land between the URA and New Granada Development or a related entity for the sale of Block 10 North, lots 255, 257, 258, and 258A in the 5th Ward, Council District number 6.
Thank you. You've heard the reading and the title of the bills. Is there any discussion on the bills? Seeing none, the bills are now ready for final action. All in favor of the passage, vote aye when the name is called. Those opposed will vote no. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Reverend Burgess.
Aye.
Mr. Coghill.
Aye.
Mr. Kraus.
Aye.
Mr. O'Connor.
Aye.
Ms. Strasburger.
Aye.
Mrs. Cal Smith, President.
Aye.
Ayes 8, no 0.
Thank you. The bills not having received the legally required number of votes is finally passed. And that moves us on to motions and resolutions. And I have a few meeting announcements. This afternoon at 1:30, council will hold an executive session with the Law Department on Bill 104 as it pertains to litigation matters. Tomorrow morning at 10 a.m., council will hold their standing committees meeting. To register to speak, please fill out the sign-up form on the council meeting webpage by 9 a.m. Wednesday morning. You may also call the city clerk's office at 412-255-2138. Is there anything from members? Councilman
Thanks,
Kraus?
Madam President. Just
Councilman
wanted
Burgess.
to note something briefly. We just all received a press release from Maria Montano announcing that the rental registry begins May the 29th of 2022. From the day we walked in the door here, Councilman Burgess and I, and the now 15 years that I've spent here, or beginning 15 years, there are far too many people that have worked diligently year after year after year after year after year to make that possible. And to see it finally come to fruition I can't find adequate words to explain my excitement. The reason I bring this up is yesterday, working with Bob Charlin in the office, he calls to tell me about a constituent in one of our neighborhoods that is dealing with a furnace that's been out for weeks now. She's got 5 kids, has no response from a landlord, has gone through every governmental agency that she can possibly think of to try to find assistance. The only way to track down the owner of this property is an LLC in Florida. Bob is wonderful about trying to track those kinds of things down, but we're unable to find the landlord, to hold the landlord accountable, to provide just fundamental basic services such as a furnace that's operational, in the month of February. But LLCs, out of state, investment properties, no way to hold anyone accountable. It falls on us. You know this. Every one of us knows this. We get these kinds of calls all the time. And so finally, there's going to be an avenue to hold landlords responsible for the health, safety, well-being, peace, tranquility of their residents. And it's a really, really exciting time. And I for one am definitely looking forward to the implementation of the rental registry. And I sincerely want to thank everyone. It's far too numerous people that have tried for the 15 years we've been here to get a rental registry in place, and it's about to happen. So kudos to everybody and thank you.
Thank you. And thank you for your work on this as well. Councilman Burgess.
So something happened today, which now gives me an opportunity to say publicly what I've always known privately. I have spent my term on council doing a few things, believing that every person, every community, every family deserves to be blessed. And so I've sought out to increase the safety of every person. But my faith says to me that I have to be concerned with the least among them. And so through my faith, I have worked to make everyone safe, but particularly those who are African-American and live in the African-American communities. I have tried to make every community prosperous. That includes every community. But again, through my faith, I have worked in low and moderate income communities, especially in Black communities, to rebuild housing and to build businesses and to create difference in those communities. Finally, I have tried to build wealth in all communities and all families and increased employment and living wages for everybody, but particularly for those who are African American. And I have been somewhat successful by that. At least some people think that. I have some tangible, you can walk through Larmer and it looks different. You can walk through Homewood, it looks different. You can walk through Garfield, it looks different. You can walk through Addison Terrace and it looks different. And not only that, we've been able to bring African Americans to participate in the redevelopment of their own communities. We've been able to invest and they have received resources. I've done this because of my faith and my belief that everybody deserves clean, decent, affordable places to live, work, and worship. Yet, that work has come at a cost. In particular, there are these two groups of people who have attacked me personally. Since they can't attack my work and they can't stop what I do, they've attempted to attack me personally. They have used the exact same strategy. They have filed frivolous lawsuits and unsubstantiated complaints without merit. The two groups are those with privilege, those whose mouths are dripping with racism and bias, who dislike the idea that I say honestly and openly that we have neglected the Black community and that African Americans deserve in this city their fair share. And those who are of white privilege, who cannot stand a Black man standing up and speaking truth that they can't stop, they have tried to hurt me personally and financially. And we've heard the other group, at least representative of that group, those who, when I've done this work, there are those who do not deserve patronage. They've asked for resources for me to use my influence to get them jobs and resources they are unqualified and do not deserve. And because I've refused to be corrupt in this process, they too have tried to hurt me. And what they've done, again, they cannot talk about my record or my work. And so again, they've attacked me personally and tried to personally hurt me financially. But I do say, and I will say that I will not stop. You can continue to do these frivolous things that will not work. I will not rest unless every family, and especially the Black families that I love and am part of, every family is blessed. Every child is well educated. Every person has a job of their choice. Every person has a clean and decent house that they're able to afford. Being the city for all, for me, means a city where everybody is blessed. And today, we heard the reason, as to why I get these attacks. And so I have not said publicly why, but since it has been stated the intent publicly, I will explain the public process of this, publicly why they want this. They feel that if they can somehow hurt me financially, get me to pay for legal fees, that I'll stop. What they do not know, the Bible says, Job said, when they attacked Job, Job said, naked came out of my mother's womb, naked will I return hither. The Lord giveth and the Lord taketh away. My faith is beyond anything. If this job takes every dime I have, and by the way, God has blessed me in this endeavor. What they mean for bad, God has used for good. My children and my family, I have been immensely blessed over the last few years. I like to think that God has smiled on me because I've tried to do good. So I say that only, and I know this is a little pontificating, but since, the secret today was said out loud, right? We want to hurt Rev. We want to make sure he has to financially pay for our unfounded and unsubstantiated rumors and cases against him, because he rebuilds Black communities and he won't give money to people who don't deserve it and are not qualified for it. No, I won't do either one of them. I will rebuild Black communities, and I will not advocate for people who are unqualified and have not the basic skills and education to perform jobs. I will not advocate for them. And I will not try to give money to people who have not earned it. I have worked 3 jobs most of my life. My father worked 78 hours a week. I believe in work. I work all day, all night. I teach my classes at night. When I leave the council, I'm up to midnight teaching classes. I believe in work. I believe work is redemptive. And so if you want more money, work harder. Get another job. That's what I believe. That's what I've done, right? I don't complain. I just keep working. So that's a side part. But the point is, now I can say publicly why, I know sometimes the members, I just smile and say anything. They'll say, why, Reverend? Why do people do this? Now you know why. They want to try to stop me, because when I put money in the Black communities, that comes from somewhere else. And when I will not give them resources, they become angry and ugly. But I'll still smile at them and pray for them, because this work is not about me. It's about the Lord. And as long as he continues to protect me and smile on me and bless me, I'll continue to serve him. Thank you for this moment.
Thank you. Is anything else from other members? Okay. I feel like I don't have to go to church today. That's just kidding, Rev. But I want to thank Councilman O'Connor for coming to the Jasmine Nairi campus. Christy Porter had her prayer breakfast and celebrated Black History Month yesterday in Sheridan, and it was an amazing event, and got to meet Councilman O'Connor's new baby. So I want to thank him for joining us. But I mentioned earlier today that we want to keep the Ukraine in our thoughts and prayers, and I just again want to reiterate. I think that maybe council should do something more, together. So if anybody has any ideas what ways that we could be helpful or raise more, I think people know, but if there's some way that we could be a part of, a vigil or a collection or something that helps the people of the Ukraine, please send me your ideas so we can work on something. With that said, this on a lighter note, first, thank you, Councilman Kraus, for your work on the rental registry. I know that you, Reverend Burgess, and others worked on this for a very long time. I only had a small time here for Winter Court, but you all worked on it for a very long time. And I want to thank the previous administrations for their work too. Did this start under Luke or?
It did. Then Councilman Peduto was on council and was the architect.
Okay, so thank all of them for their work and for what they're doing. It really is becoming a problem in the city of Pittsburgh, the rental problems, because we have people struggling so much, and they're all calling us for help. And I tell people, if I can afford things, I go help people. But sometimes it just gets overwhelming because the help that people need is just so tremendous, and especially now through this whole COVID crisis. So I'm going to thank you very much because I hope that this is going to make a big impact. The other thing that would make a big impact is if our law department and our PL&I would do things like extradite landlords back to the city of Pittsburgh to face court, because they do have that in place. We'd put that in place with, I think it was Act 190. And so that would be helpful if they did stuff like that, and to work with our magistrates to make sure that people are getting fines. I think it's $1,000 a day you could be fined. And I think I've seen just a few with $1,000 period as a fine. It would be more helpful to see some of this. So maybe we can work with because we have some really great magistrates. Maybe we can work with some of them to work on increasing some of those fines, and collectively also at the same time, simultaneously, I should say, work with our Housing Opportunity Fund and the URA to get funds in for people who can't afford to fix their homes, so that we're helping people fix their homes and cleaning up the community. I just think this whole collective effort needs to be, it needs to work together a little smoother, I think. And I know Reverend Burgess is talking about that, but I'd like to see more collaboration in those areas. With that said, on a lighter note, we have fish fries starting on Wednesday for a lot of our churches and athletic associations, schools, and people that do those things. You can check the various sites to see, various news sites have these things registered on their registry. And Ash Wednesday begins on this Wednesday for the Lebanese, and the Maronite Catholic, it was Monday. And so that's it. Anything else from members? With that said, can I have a motion to excuse the absent members, approve the minutes, and adjourn the meeting?
So moved.
All in favor?
All right.
Meeting's adjourned. Thank you, everyone.